Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to coffee time. Cheers. Cheers. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Let's have some coffee and talk about all things that I've been doing in the past month or so. I can't believe it's already at the end of October. So I went to the football game. I went to downtown LA for more ring shopping this month. I went to 2 weddings so far in October. I think that's it for the rest of the year. We went to a pumpkin festival last Saturday, and then we are planning on having a fall day, so I'm excited to share with you like what that entails. And then next week is Halloween, so I'll share with you my Halloween costume idea. So let's get started. Alrighty. Cheers. So good. Okay. Let's talk about football. I'm a 49ers fan, so I went to the 49ers versus Rams game at the SoFi Stadium on October 2nd, and it was a Thursday night football. So it was an amazing game because the 49ers won and it went to overtime. So when there was 30 seconds left in the game, the Rams had the ball at the 1 yard line and they fumbled. So that was amazing to watch. And I was at the opposite side of the goalpost, so I didn't really know what was going on. We sat at one end of the goalpost, like really close. We were on the third row, and it was such an amazing experience. So when they fumbled, we went to overtime, and then the Rams had the ball at the 30-yard line, and they could have scored a touchdown then, but they didn't. So at the fourth down, I don't know exactly what happened. I think they might have like fumbled it or something happened at the very end. So we won. So yeah, that was a really great, fun time. And I brought a 49ers flag, and I also brought my defense sign. So I made a defense sign. I made a red D because the 49ers color is it's like maroon and a red, and then it's also gold. So I made a fence sign. I was showing my mom this, and she's like, "Is this double sharp?" I was like, "No, keep going." And she's like, "A house?" I was like, "Okay, what about a house?" And then fence, and then oh, defense. So she got that. That was really funny. But yeah, that was really fun, and we had such an amazing time. I will say though, after being in like going to different stadiums, like I feel like the Inuit Dome, I've been to Crypto.com Arena and SoFi Stadium. I feel like the food is way overpriced and not good. So next time I go to one of these 3 stadiums, I'm gonna make or bring, not make, or I want to have food before I go there. Like, I'd rather go to a restaurant than eat at the stadium because they're basically paying the same price for lower quality food, and you're having to like eat in the narrow chairs, and it was, yeah. But other than that, like, it's still a fun experience, regardless of how the food tastes. So, I mean, the food wasn't bad, it was just very pricey. Okay. Let's talk about ring shopping. So this is going to be more of a rant than anything. So Michael and I, we've been dating for 9 months, and around the 6 or 7 month mark, we started ring shopping. So we've been ring shopping for like almost 3 months now, and we put a deposit down almost 2 months ago. And we put a deposit down. They had the ring available. They made it for us within 2 weeks, so it was ready for us to view. They sent us pictures of the ring, and I already knew that it wasn't going to be the perfect ring. So there were some things wrong with the tulip setting, and I didn't like the way that the peekaboo diamond was sitting. So originally I wanted like a bridge and then the tulip basket and then the peekaboo diamond like sitting in the middle of the bridge. Whereas the way that they made it is the bridge, peekaboo in the middle like a neck, and then the tulip head. And so I just didn't like the overall look of that. And in person it looked okay. Like it was better than I anticipated. But then when I was like thinking more about it, like I still wasn't fully satisfied. Like I was trying to communicate with them that like what I actually wanted was the peekaboo diamond to be very subtle. Like I wanted it to be in the middle of the bridge. You know, I didn't want it to like stick out. And so they gave us a couple of renderings of the peekaboo, and we decided to just take it all off. Like just ignore the peekaboo. I don't need the peekaboo. Like it's causing a headache at this point. So yeah, we got rid of the peekaboo, and then we also need to like fix the tulip head. So the thing that was wrong with the tulip head is that the tulip head looked like this, or like kind of like this. So when it looks like this whole part, you can kind of see that from the top point of view. Okay, so the ring actually looked like a hexagon instead of a round diamond. And so I was trying to like explain it to them, you know, like you can kind of see too much of the basket, and I didn't like that at all. They were trying to shave it down while we were there so that we can take the ring, but I was like, this is way off. Like, I mean, it looks beautiful as it is, but it's not exactly what I want. So, um, they told us that they were going to send us a rendering of the ring before they redo it the second time around. And we're like, okay, that's perfect. That's what they should have done the first time around, right? So um, they gave us a rendering like a week after, and the rendering was just a diamond ring with a tulip head, and that was it. Like it was just one picture, and I'm like, I don't know if this is supposed to be right. Like it just feels wrong, you know? The pave diamonds weren't on it. My wedding band wasn't on it. And I didn't like the peekaboo. So we went through several rounds of the rendering, and it was basically like he would send us a picture of the rendering, and then we would tell him like 4 or 5 things that we want to change, like little tiny things, like can you make sure that the prongs are eagle prongs? And can you make sure there's no gap between the diamond and the basket? And we have some pictures too. And so we would request all of these things, and then he would send us a new email thread and a new picture of the rendering, but it's the same picture. So we're like, okay, what's going on here? Like we're communicating with him, but it's not getting through, you know? So at one point we were like, can you add the pave diamonds? Because I don't want the situation where we approve of the rendering without the pave diamonds, and then they make the ring without it, and they say like, oh, you approved of the ring, the rendering. I mean, I have the receipt of the pave diamonds, so it's fine, but I didn't want to go to that situation, get there. So yeah, so we had to be kind of firm and tell them exactly what we wanted. We sent them so many pictures of exactly what we wanted, and they finally kind of got it. Like the rendering was as good as it was gonna get for them. And this company is called Bridal Rings Company. We've been working with Saven. Oh yeah, I mean he's a diamond expert. I'll give him that. Like when we're talking about diamonds, he was so good. And he's such a nice guy too. Like he's a very like soft-spoken type of guy, so he's not very like forceful at all. But When I told him about the tulip setting, he said, that's, you should have told us that ahead of time or something like that. And I gave him a picture of exactly what I wanted, which is from by Bonnie Jewelry, because her pieces are gorgeous. I mean, I wish we could work with her, but she lives in the Bay Area and it's so far for us. Anyway, so all of this has happened. There's multiple email threads. So um, he was sending us another email, a new email saying, is it okay to go ahead with the rendering? And I'm more like, but he didn't respond to our previous email with like the 4 or 5 requests. Anyway, so finally we approved with the rendering like last Monday, finally. So they're in the process of making the ring. So we'll see how the ring looks. The issue is that the ring is being made in downtown LA. That's where the vendor is. And we went with downtown LA because that was going to be the least expensive. Like we're going to get the best like deal out of it. I mean, diamonds aren't an investment in general. Like they lose value as soon as it goes out of the building. It's kind of like a new car, right? Like once you drive it out of the lot, like it loses value. So it's kind of like that. But you can't buy a used ring. Like I feel like you can't really do that. I'm okay with like using a used or buying a used car, but like I don't know, it's just different with rings because you're gonna like wear it. It's very personal. So yeah, that's where we're at with the ring shopping, and hopefully they'll have it ready, maybe even by like tomorrow. But we need a day of like just staying at home. Like tomorrow's gonna be a stay-at-home day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having like a fall day. Let's just jump right into fall day. So Michael and we've been planning a fall day. So here is a picture of the fall day that I made. It's 2025. I actually have a picture, so I'll put a picture here. So I have like on the menu, I'm gonna make homemade apple cider. It's actually not like pressed apple cider, like the real one, but I'm gonna slowly cook Honeycrisp apples and Fuji apples with cinnamon and whole cloves. And I'm just gonna cook it for a very, very long time and make the home smell really good. And so I'm really excited about the apple cider. And then we're gonna make Italian beef. So I already bought chuck roast and I bought all the ingredients for that. So I'm excited about that too. We're gonna roast pumpkin seeds because we're gonna be carving pumpkins. So we're gonna scrape the seeds from the inside. I'm gonna wash it and dry it and season it with salt, pepper, and cumin. We're also gonna play movies in the background. So some movies that I want to play are Casper. I also want to watch A Good Witch. Like I love the lady Cassidy. I think that's her name in the movie. Her real name is Catherine, but I love A Good Witch. Like the lady kind of is like very soft spoken and she's very, I don't know, like she has like a spiritual aura around her and I just love it. So I want to watch that in the background, maybe Scooby Dooby Doo. And I also saw that there's Argo on TV, so I might actually watch that tonight. I don't know. We usually watch a movie on Friday nights. So we're kind of like running low on movies. But every time I like browse on Prime and stuff for movies, I'm like, oh, I want to watch this or I want to watch that. So there are a lot of movies that I do want to watch. It's just that I forget when the time comes. Alrighty, cheers. Okay. So yeah, I'm very excited about fall day and we're gonna have Italian beef. I bought hoagie rolls. I got 12 of them from Sam's Club, so I'm excited to um, make Italian beef for the first time. I'm just very excited. It kind of reminds me of like my University of Illinois days because that's a very like Chicago thing. Okay, let's talk about the two weddings that I went to. The first one was one of Michael's employees that he supervises. So a lot of the people that we were sitting around were Michael's employees. So what I learned from that wedding was that Michael is an amazing, amazing boss. And when we were first dating, Michael was telling me, like, yeah, if you ask anybody at work, they'll tell you that I'm a good boss, or something like that. It wasn't exactly like that. It was a very like subtle way of saying that. But it was like when we first started dating, and um, the bride actually was the first person that he supervised when he first became the position that he's in right now. So when we were taking our photo, like this photo exactly, we had a little bit of time to chat before we parted ways. So when we were chatting, she was telling me that, yeah, Michael is an amazing boss, and now like whenever she has a new boss, like she compares to Michael. So that that made me feel like really good because she doesn't work with Michael anymore, so there wasn't any reason for her to say like nice things about him. But everybody had only good things to say about Michael, and you can also tell just by the way that everybody was like relaxed around him and joking a lot around him. Like I can just tell that they feel very comfortable sharing things and they can just like be themselves. But when it's like time to work, like they get their work done type of thing. So um, it was a 200-person wedding, and there was a lot of like English to Vietnamese translations. So the bride was Vietnamese and the groom was Chinese. And so the food was Chinese and it was delicious food. Like I love Chinese food. It took a little while for me to learn about Chinese food because there's so many different kinds. But overall, like I love it. I grew up in an area where there's a lot of Chinese people around me. Anyway, so it was a very chaotic wedding, I would say. So first of all, the ceremony was at noon to 1, and it was a Catholic ceremony. And during the ceremony, it was supposed to be a kid-free wedding, but there was a kid there, and the kid was making a lot of noises during the mass, and the parents didn't like bring the kids out or the kid out. And then a lady behind me was talking on the phone. So she was in her like 60s. And when the phone rang, and it was like during the singing time, so it was okay that she picked up her. I mean, it wasn't okay that she picked up her phone. Like it's never okay to do that at church, especially in a wedding ceremony. Come on. So she picked up our phone and she like talked on the phone for like a minute or two, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's doing that. And then um, when the bride's dad was giving a little speech up front, the lady in front of me, her phone rang so loud. And I felt so bad for the bride. I felt so bad because, like, I mean, yeah, it's just like, it's very rude, right? Yeah. And it was kind of like at the end of his speech, too. So, like, he just, like, ended his speech kind of early, I think. I don't know whether it was because of the phone call, but yeah, it was just not a really great situation to be in. Anyway, so the ceremony was at noon to 1, and then the reception was at 6 o'clock. So there was 5 hours to spare. So we had lunch, and then we also went shopping. But that's it. Like, I don't know. It just kind of like, it was kind of, I felt it was a little inconsiderate of the guests, especially the local guests, because usually weddings are like you do it a little bit in the afternoon, like the ceremony, and then you have dinner right after. So yeah, I just didn't really like that there was like a huge gap, but it gave us a chance for us to go shopping, and that's been something that Michael and I have been wanting to do. So it all worked out for the best for us. The second wedding we went to was a Jewish wedding, so it was Michael's like one of his bosses. So it was his boss's like daughter's wedding, and it had like over 1,000 people probably. Yeah, it was a massive wedding, and we got there at like 5:30. It was supposed to start at 5:30. There was like a reception before the ceremony, and there were like 20 food vendors like all around. There were multiple bands. The entire hotel was rented out, and there were multiple camera crews and video crews. So many flowers everywhere, and the food was amazing. What else? There were so many people. People had beautiful dresses on that went all the way to the bottom of the floor. Like it was just very pretty and a beautiful wedding. But there were so many people, so many people. Oh my gosh. And then the ceremony took place at like 6 or 7. I don't know, it was kind of late. And then the dinner started at like 9, I think. So, yeah, a lot of people left after like the first course, which is like corned beef. So, like, I didn't realize this was the first course, but it was. Anyway, I think the main course was like steak and salmon. So I got that at like 10 o'clock or something. Yeah, it was good. It was good. But there was a lot of dancing, and the woman and the men are separated during the ceremony and also during the reception. So I got to see Michael whenever like we planned it. So one time like I texted Michael, I was like, I'm cold, and he had like white scarves for the woman at the chairs. So I gave one to Michael, and um, I gave it to him to take with him. So I was like, just keep it in your pocket. But it was so cold where I was sitting. So I told him like, can you bring the white scarf? I'm freezing. So he came over to my side, and he knew like where I was sitting. Um, so that was really nice when he would come over to the woman's side. um, of course, they had like free drinks, and so we got our margaritas, and we just had a really fun time. Okay, those are the weddings. And yeah, weddings are fun, but it's also like it's pretty tiring, I feel. So like I was trying to like think I've been thinking a lot about my wedding and how I would like an experience to be for the guests. So I would like the ceremony to be at 2, and that's the latest that it can go. The ceremony can be either at 10, 12, or 2. So I think we're gonna do it at 2, and then we're gonna have the reception like nearby. So we're gonna have dinner at like 5, and I kind of want the um I want the reception to be over by like 7, like I want people to be able to go home early and rest, because we're all tired. Future me is tired. Okay, I just talked about fall day tomorrow, and then Halloween costumes. So Michael is considered to be the duck guy on at work because um, he played a little like prank on one of his coworkers. Like one of his coworkers' room was like kind of messy, like papers everywhere. So he hid like little tiny rubber ducks in like random places, and he tried to figure out like how many days it would take for that person to find the ducks in his room. And it took him like 10 days or something like that. So yeah, he became like the duck guy, and so he's gonna be a rubber duck, and I'm going to be a bathtub. So I have a little like styrofoam like box from my parents' work, and I'm gonna put like string on it, or like a strap on it, and then I'm gonna poke a hole in the styrofoam so I can like wear it. I'm gonna wear a shower cap. So I have the shower cap here actually. So I have the shower cap. I'm gonna wear it like this, or something like that. And then I also found this in the bathroom. So I'm gonna put this like on my bathtub, and then I'm going to wear a robe. and that's it. Like I have, oh, I also have like light blue balloons, um, to like put around um, the bathtub. So that's gonna be really, really fun, I think. Yeah. Okay, one last thing that I want to like briefly touch on is the government shutdown. Um, I'm a federal employee, so I have not been working this past entire month, and it's kind of crazy like how quickly time passes in the past 3.5 weeks. Like, I've been waking up really late. I've been sleeping later and later. And I've been having breakfast later. I've been having lunch later. Sometimes I skip lunch because I wake up so late. But that's kind of like the reality of things right now. And it's kind of been a good time, but also like kind of a stressful time because there has been a lot of news, and that seems to be the way that they're communicating things with us. It's like learning about someone breaking up with you through news. Like it's kind of like not really mature, I think. But um, yeah, it's just been there's a lot of news about like potentially um, letting go of federal employees, furloughed employees, and not paying us back for our furloughed time. And it's just those like little things like that kind of it really bothers me, you know. Um, like when we go into shutdown, we go into shutdown assuming that we're gonna get back pay, right? But then like a weekend, we get news that Trump is not planning on paying us, and so it's like, okay, so we're just like kind of on hiatus here and not working and not getting paid and not going to get paid in the future. And so this entire year has kind of like been terrible, you know? Like first of all, they make us return to the office and there's been like the drips, the deferred resignation. Like it's there's been like so many little things like that, big things like that that has happened. A lot of people have left the force too, and the whole like vibe of work has just changed. And so I'm kind of like ready to get back to normal, which is getting my boss back, first of all. Like the boss that I work with, that I've worked with for the past like 6, 7 years, she has been assigned to another task force. So yeah, we have another boss who knows nothing about what we do, and he also like wants to meet with us every 3 weeks, and it's just been like kind of I don't know. I just feel like I'm just complaining about that, but I'll just say like he likes to have meetings just for the sake of meetings. Just seems like that kind of vibe, you know. So yeah. Um, anyway, so yeah, that's been going on, and we don't know how long the shutdown's gonna be. Um, People are speculating like at the latest November 15th. Um, but yeah, it just kind of like reinforces like how much I want to retire. Like if I was retired early, I mean, I do plan to retire early. Like Michael and I have talked about this very early on in our relationship. Like we've talked about finances and we've talked about what we want to do in the next 10 years and stuff. So yeah, um, we do want to retire earlier, but it's also really difficult when we don't have a home. Like we don't own a home, so it's really hard to pay off a mortgage in like 10 years, you know? So yeah, we'll see how things are going with that. And um, yeah, so it's just like it's a big time of uncertainty right now. But anyway, Alrighty, last cheers. Cheers. Alrighty. I hope you have a good week and nice weekend. I'll see you next time.